Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Louis Stevenson, a graphic novel illustrated by Lou Cameron. Dr. Henry Jekyll, a well-known London physician, was loved and honoured by his many friends and associates. One day he summoned Mr. Utterson, his attorney and closest friend, for the purpose of drawing up his will. This seemingly unimportant and businesslike incident was really much more. It was the beginning of one of the strangest stories you have ever heard.
Utterson, I wish to draw up a new will.
Very well, Henry. How shall it read?
It is my wish that all my possessions pass into the hands of my friend Edward Hyde, in case of my death. In case of my disappearance or unexplained absence for any period to exceed 3 calendar months, the said Mr. Hyde shall inherit my entire estate.
Utterson was astounded by this request. Why, who is this Edward Hyde?
I wish you would consider this my personal affair, and not pursue the matter further.
Very well, Henry. I shall have the will ready for your signature tomorrow. Worried and puzzled by his friend's strange request, Utterson left Jekyll's house. Some time later, Utterson was out for a stroll with his friend Richard Enfield. As they turned down a street in a busy quarter of London, Enfield pointed to the door of a house on the opposite corner.
Do you see that door, Utterson?
What about it?
It is connected in my mind with a very odd story.
Indeed, and what is that? This is the story that Mr. Enfield told Mr. Utterson, and which started the latter off in quest of a solution to a strange series of incidents.
I was on my way home one evening. As I approached the corner, I saw a little man stumping along and a little girl running at top speed toward him. At the corner, they ran into each other. Flying into a rage, the man trampled the poor girl under his feet. Leaving the child screaming on the ground, the man calmly walked away. I went after the ruffian and collared him. You are a vicious scoundrel, and I'll see that you pay dearly for what you've done. Why, you could have killed that child. The loathful appearance of the fellow inspired the group with hatred, and they wanted to kill him. Stand back, please. Let's not lose our heads. The child's family could sue you for what you did, and you will be ruined financially.
It will not be necessary for them to sue me. I'm sure we can get together on a price.
After a good deal of bargaining, he agreed to pay £100,
approximately £11,000 today,
to the child's parents.
Come with me, and I shall give you the money.
He led the way to that very building, put his key in the door, and entered. A few minutes later,
You have £10 there, and a cheque for the balance.
The cheque was signed by a person well known to me. A cheque for £90. I'll wager it's a forgery.
If you doubt the worth of that cheque, I'll personally take you to the bank in the morning and cash it.
The next morning, I cashed the cheque and handed the money to the child's mother.
That is a very strange story indeed. What was the name of the man?
His name was Edward Hyde.
Edward Hyde? Why, that is the name of Dr. Jekyll's beneficiary. What did Mr. Hyde look like?
He was short of stature, and there was something detestable in his appearance. I tell you, I never saw a man I so disliked.
What sort of a hold this man can have on Dr. Jekyll is beyond me. I shall never rest till I find out. From that time forward, Utterson continued to haunt the house on the by-street of shops. This fellow Hyde is bound to show up some time or other. If he be Mr. Hyde, then I shall be Mr. Seek. One night his vigil was rewarded. That must be Hyde now. I recognize him from Enfield's description. As he neared the house, Hyde took a key from his pocket. Utterson stopped him before he could enter. Mr. Hyde, I think.
That is my name. What do you want?
I am an old friend of Dr. Jekyll and would like to come in.
Dr. Jekyll is not here. How did you know me?
Utterson disregarded his question. "Will you do me a favour?"
With pleasure. What shall it be?
"Will you let me see your face?" Hyde reflected for a moment, and then turned around with an air of defiance. "Now I shall know if we should meet again."
But you have not told me how you learned my identity.
"Dr. Jekyll told me." Flushed with anger, Hyde cried out,
He never told you! You lie!
Hyde entered the house, locking the door behind him. Walking just around the corner, Utterson knocked on the door of a fine-looking house and was admitted by the butler. "Is Dr. Jekyll at home, Poole?"
"Come in, sir, and I'll see."
A few minutes later.
"I'm sorry, sir, but Dr. Jekyll is out."
"I say, Poole, it seems to me I saw Mr. Hyde going by the old dissecting-room door. Is it customary for him to do so?"
"Yes, sir. He has a key."
"Your master seems to repose a great deal of trust in that man, Poole."
"Yes, Mr. Utterson. We have all orders to obey him."
Some days later, Utterson had dinner in Dr. Jekyll's home. After dinner they retired to the drawing-room. "I say, Henry, I have been wanting to speak to you about your will."
My poor Utterson, you are unfortunate in such a client as I. I never saw anyone so distressed as you are about my will.
"I think I should know. I've been learning something about Mr. Hyde." Jekyll was visibly disturbed.
I would rather not hear anything more about it.
"What I heard about the man was horrible."
Whatever you may think about him, Utterson, I have a very great interest in poor Hyde. He told me you had seen him, and I think he was rude. I cannot tell you any more, but you must promise me that you will see that he gets his rights."
Utterson promised, and soon left. A short time later, Dr. Jekyll went into his laboratory and mixed the solution from the various vials in his cabinet. When he was done, he held the glass up to the light, his face aglow with wild expectancy. Then he swallowed the mixture. In a moment he was overcome by convulsive tortures. His features took on a contorted appearance. His body slowly shrank till his clothes hung loosely on his frame. Hairy paws stuck out from the sleeves of his shirt. In a few moments the complete transformation had taken place. Dr. Henry Jekyll, the eminent and respected physician, had become Edward Hyde.
Now I am once more free from that righteous old doctor. I shall go out and taste of life as Henry Jekyll has never dared dream.
Changing his clothes, Hyde stealthily went out into the night.